Hello everybody. I'm here to talk to you tonight a little bit about the problem with free. And that's going to seem a little strange because the first thing you should know about me is that I'm actually pretty cheap. I know that there's a lot of value in buying things that are high quality and cost a little more, but I can't get past that. I usually buy the cheapest thing that I think I can get away with. And it works out pretty well sometimes. I got these shoes for a great deal online, and what was great is they came with this. This is a shoehorn. Now, I don't use a shoehorn except once when I got it, and it's going to be in a drawer, and I'm probably never going to use it again. But because they gave me something for free, I feel really loyal to this brand. I will probably buy their shoes again. So that's a good thing about free, but there can be other times where it's more problematic. At the Journal Record, we have a paywall, which means that only our subscribers can see our stories. And this bothers people greatly. They're very used to getting everything online for free, especially news, and so they email us and tell us we'd read you more if you let us have it for free. And that kind of takes them away from knowing that it costs money to produce it. I have a salary, our reporters have a salary. And it goes back to the early days of the internet when there really were no technology, no systems, and no trust that could get people to pay it. So everybody gave everything away because they had to, and that just became the mindset. And there's still reasons not to trust the security, but you do your best. So when you can get something for free, I'm all for it, I'm cheap, but you should think about what are the hidden costs, what are you giving up? Sometimes that's money, sometimes that's other things. Earlier this month, Microsoft put out an app that was really popular, this thing, where it would tell you the true ages of people. Now, you get what you pay for, because there's no way that girl's 30 and there's no way that doll is 4. That's a cost. Also, when you uploaded that to Microsoft, they said, hey, this is our image now, we can do what we want with it. So you got to use something for free, but you had to give up some of your privacy. We also don't think about it with our government, which more or less works the way we need it. We probably want to have a government, but we don't think about how much that costs until like April 13th or 14th when we have to fill out these forms every year. It comes up in other cases. Several years ago, Oklahoma was looking at building some new highways, and there was a big debate about do we build a toll road or a free road. And I think it was Governor Henry who had to point out there's no such thing as a free road. The debate is a toll road or a tax road, and sometimes people forget that. I forget it when I listen to podcasts. I've been listening to a lot lately, and so I'm mashing this button on my phone every 8 minutes for about 7 or 8 times because they put some 1 and 2 minute ads in these things. And that's a cost. I feel like I'm getting it for free, but I know there's going to be a distraction. I know it's going to take me away from the story that I'm trying to listen to. We see this in other ways on our phones when you hear about a cool app and you figure, I'm just going to download that because, hey, it's free, maybe even $1, which is a pretty low friction point. But then what you end up with is a ton of stuff on your phone that you don't need, and you can't find what you want. It's clutter. If you took everything that came free, this is what your house might look like. Never find what you want, never be able to focus on what you want, and you'd always be distracted. Psychologists will tell us everybody says they can multitask, but nobody can. When you try to do it, you're less effective at whatever task, you're not paying attention to the people around you, and that's another cost. It seems like you have all these things for free, but they're taking you away from something else. And who would want to live in that room because that's just crazy. So that's some of the costs. What we also find is that if you pay a little bit, if there's a little bit of a reward for something, that's very motivational. Studies have found that even if you give people $1 for every time they work out, they're much more likely to do it. Money is motivation, and when everything is free, you get away from that. It also shows commitment. Human beings are kind of wired to feel losses more than they feel gains. So when you're not putting anything in, you're missing out on that motivational factor that can get you to the goals that you set for yourself. This comes up a lot. Spencer mentioned I'm a triathlete and a runner. When people aren't sure and they want to get started, the number one advice is just sign up. If you put in $25 or $30 for a 5K, you're much more likely to train. You're going to go, you're going to know you're going to do it, and that keeps you to do it. And I think everybody here knows this because most of you, bought a ticket for tonight. That does two things. One, instead of just saying, I want to have this kind of cool event in my community, you're saying, I'm willing to make it happen. You put in a few dollars, that helps it come together. It also meant that you showed up tonight because evenings are hard, and if you hadn't bought a ticket, there's a good chance that you would have thought, I'm going to stop for a drink with my friends, I have to go to the grocery store, I've got a ton of Netflix waiting for me. And so putting in a little money meant that you would show up tonight, and that made the event better for all of us. Now, I'm not here to say that free is all bad. If it weren't for free, it'd be harder to get new things started. We wouldn't have Twitter, we wouldn't have Facebook, we wouldn't have any of these things that a lot of us enjoy. I'm kind of addicted, I wish I was on Twitter right now. But that's the thing I want you to think about is what are the costs? If you enjoy NPR, I hope that you donate once a year when they beg and plead and ask over and over all day. So my main point is think about the cost and think about what you really value. That's all the time I have. Thank you for spending a little of your free time with me tonight.